Welcome back. If you're looking to stay close to home this summer, North Carolina has no shortage of things to do and places to see. Wit Tuttell with Visit NC is here to fill us in on all the wonderful experiences North Carolina has to offer. And as always, good to see you, Wit. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, I'm happy to be here.
Man, I'll tell you what, I can't think of a better state to be living in because you got mountains, you got oceans, you've got just about everything here.
We really have 543 miles wide of just things to do.
So how has it been shaping up? I know COVID probably took a hit on tourism last year, but boy, this summer's looking pretty good.
Yeah, it's interesting. You know, as far as visitor spending, we lost a substantial amount, more than $10 billion, lost about 600,000 jobs, but we're actually faring better than most of the states around us, and I think we've got the product that people want to see as we come out of this.
I think a lot of people still want to stay close to home, and that's a good thing, right, for North Carolina. What are some of the better places for folks to think about maybe going? I mean, oftentimes it's right in your backyard and you haven't even thought about it.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. You know, more than half the people in North Carolina weren't born here. So a lot of the people living here don't know those things that we all know that are right around the corner that are great things to see and do. You know, there's an amazing exhibit in Raleigh with gilded mummies. That's just fantastic at the North Carolina Museum of Art. So there's something to see just about any place you wanted to go in the state.
One of the things I hated as a kid, and I'm not real fond as a parent, packing up the car and going with a bunch of kids somewhere. Do you have a place that can actually be attractive to both mom and dad and the kids here in North Carolina?
Oh yeah, we've got plenty of those. You know, there's great road trips all across the state. There are 61 scenic drives that the state has, and then there are 4 national scenic drives that are really perfect for people to go see. Lots of great places, and you know, the neat thing about North Carolina, so many of our accommodations aren't your standard hotels. They're vacation rentals or cabins or houses on the coast, and so you've got room for the whole family to come in, spread out. Everybody can be together, but everybody can have their space at the same time.
I like that. Space is a good thing. Big tourist attractions in North Carolina. If I had to guess, it'd be the mountains and the oceans, but I mean...
Oh, yeah. Well, it's surprising. You know, there's plenty of things to do in the Piedmont as well. You know, of course, the big attractions, we have the Blue Ridge Parkway, we have Biltmore, Grandfather Mountain in the mountains, we have the Wright Brothers National Historic Site, we have Wilmington, great beaches on the coast. What I really find fascinating, though, are those little places that you wouldn't expect. Like there's a museum of flags in Columbus, North Carolina, out in the foothills. That is really cool. There's the Earl Scruggs Center in Shelby, North Carolina. If you're into bluegrass music, or even if you're not, it's amazing. And one of my favorite places is the Belhaven Memorial Museum in the tiny little town of Belhaven out on the Intercoastal, right before you get to the beach. So really, there's great things all around the state.
Now, how do you find these things? Can you go to a website, possibly?
Yes, well, you certainly can. The best place to go is visitnc.com. And you can enter in there if you're interested in byways, if you're interested in trails, beer, whatever your passion is, you can enter that into the search, and we'll give you lots of great options and things to do in those areas. And it's really a great part of the state is that there's so much to do. There are wonderful trails. There's barbecue trails, there are beer trails. You know, you can go trekking with llamas.
Beer trails.
Just about anything you can think of.
This is a wonderful state, Whit. I know in the summertime, in addition to having just beautiful scenery and beautiful places to visit, there's a lot of other things going on, right? I mean, you have, whether it's peak time of a season or festivals, and what's going on this summer?
Yeah, so it's going to be a great summer, but I will say this, it's going to be a packed summer. Everybody wants to get out. They've been cooped up and hibernating, you know, for almost a year. So I would say make sure to book in advance. That's one of my big tips for people is to book in advance and to call back and confirm. A lot of events are changing. We have things we don't usually have. There's going to be a Merle Fest, you know, in Wilkesboro. They're going to have that in the fall this year. They usually have it in the spring, but they had to push it to the fall. So a lot of dates have changed. Some of the mechanics of these big festivals and events have changed. You can find all that information on visitnc.com, but I do recommend calling before you go and make sure to book early.
Are there some must-see events you must attend that you can mention that people might want to...
Yeah, well, I think if you're going to be in North Carolina, you're going to live in North Carolina, you have to see Unto These Hills, which is the outdoor drama that's done in Cherokee, that talks about the Cherokee Indian and the Eastern Band of Cherokee that are out there. Really fantastic history and just pageantry and all that. There's also the outdoor drama on the Outer Banks, the Lost Colony, that talks about the very start of North Carolina being settled. That's really fascinating. I think it's the longest running outdoor drama in the country. Those things are exciting. Of course, there's a race all the time at Charlotte Motor Speedway, so
Yes.
those things are exciting. And I think Merle Fest, there's some great concerts throughout the state that you really should see.
Now, I want to touch, well, we still have a little bit of time on any tips you might have, and also we have, this ever-changing COVID thing. So
Yeah.
where are we now for folks who are going to pack up the car and have a staycation?
Yeah.
What do they need to know?
That's a great point. So the state is open, so everything's open. You can do all those things you wanted to do. Now, we still recommend that you get your vaccination, and if you don't have a vaccination, that you wear a mask. But what I would recommend is that, we're still building back up. So I want people to pack their patience should be one of the first things they pack. Because, you may find that your favorite restaurant's not open in the typical hours it was, or maybe the wait's a little longer this year. I would definitely recommend trying to book during the weekdays rather than the weekends, because we're already seeing record volume in the coast and the mountains in some areas. So the more you can book during the week, take that time off, maybe, work from the computer, work up from the coast, work from the mountains, work from that vacation spot where you're at, because you're going to want to make sure, you have as much space as possible.
Any quick tips?
Quick tips, go to visitnc.com, pack your patience, and get out there.
Okay, well, that kind of wraps it up then. That's what you need to do. It's always good to see you. And it's exciting. Finally, we can stretch out and have a summer.
I'm ready. I'm sure you are too.
Oh, man,
Boy, I'm
I
ready.
guess so. Good to see you, Wit. Thank you very much. And stay right there. When we come back, a popular destination just 2 hours away.